I'm too broke to buy designer. I could thrift accessorize. I got no money in my wallet, but the way I look, you never fucking know. So the pocket on a cheap designer knockoff. Yeah, it's black, but no Rick Owens. But the way I look, you never fucking know. I'm too broke to buy designer. I could thrift accessorize. I got no money in my wallet, but the way I look, you never fucking know. Fuck your broken, I'm not basic. I put work in. Yeah, it's black, no Saint Laurent. But the way I look, you never fucking know.
Welcome, my friends, to Cuentame USA with Moncho Camano. Sorry about my indumentaria from Spain, but they won, so I have to wear it. Thank you so much for being here today. Special
Yeah, thank
day.
you for having me.
We got somebody that I really enjoy her music. She's a really great musician.
Thank
So
you.
I'm speaking with Coco Colombia. Colombia. Yeah, Colombia. Colombia. Yeah. She's a singer-songwriter. She's a drummer. She plays the keyboards. She's a jazz musician, progressive musician. I don't know, jazz prog. But then she's also a electropop uh, icon, I guess. She does everything. She's an android. Hmm. So, hello, Coco. Thank you
I've
so
had,
much.
I've had a lot of different evolution.
Yes, I don't know how to. It's all good. After this interview, you're gonna listen to her and you're gonna enjoy her music. And if you already know her, it's gonna be a great interview, I believe. Uh, Her latest single, I think so. It's called Overdrive. If it's not Overdrive, it's Knockoff. I don't know which one is it.
Both of those are new singles that I have.
So it's all good.
The first, they're the two singles I've released this year so far.
Okay, it came in I think published June 20 this year. June. Was it June? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Overdrive came out like June 5th, I think.
Yeah. And these are previews for something coming up later on.
So actually, both of those songs are collaborations that I did with other producers. I've been producing my own stuff for a while, but I don't know, sometimes I get sick of just only working by myself, and my goal this year was to try to do more collaborations. So the first one, the song Knockoff, I did with my friend Antoine, who goes by Drymer from Paris. And then also my best friend Grant Saylor, they like co-produced it, and then I top lined
Hmm.
it.
I see.
Yeah.
I saw
And then
your that.
Overdrive was with my friend Troy, who produced. Yeah.
Okay, I seen some posts. Some of those guys show up. I think. I listened to her albums. I use Desert for that. I think it's better than Spotify, so I'm happy. Uh, and let me tell you, Coco. Uh, I don't know. I was gonna tell you for me what the best album was that I listened, but I'm not gonna tell you. I just changed my mind. I just enjoy one more than all of the other ones.
I
But
don't mind. I
I,
don't mind if you want to
I'm
take
not
one.
gonna tell you. They're all good. Doesn't matter. They're all good. I'll name them later. Uh, you are a very talented artist. Uh, I
Sweet.
believe you were originally from Oregon, from Portland, from the city of Portland, or some suburbs.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Bend, Oregon, which is in Central Oregon, but
Okay.
then I moved to Portland and lived there for 7 years before I moved to LA like 8 years ago.
Oh, it was 8 years ago already. It was short like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Hmm.
went by really fast. I think the pandemic made it go by really
Oh,
fast.
okay.
Yeah.
That's true. So, uh, what were your let's say your outlet for those teenage years? Well, what did you enjoy doing? Was it music always, or there was something else that when you were a teenager caught your attention and you wanted to do something different?
I grew up loving, I feel like I kind of knew I always wanted to be a musician, but it wasn't till later in high school that I decided I wanted to actually study it. But I grew up loving music. I was really fortunate in that my dad is a huge music fan too, and so he used to take me to a lot of concerts when I was a kid.
Hmm.
I grew up playing the drums and decided I wanted to be a jazz drummer, along with like rock and hip hop and funk and stuff. But I
But
probably
why jazz? Was there like a big record collection at home, or was your friends were into jazz? What was it? The high
so
school?
yeah, I actually started playing jazz in middle school. I had this close friend who invited me to go to this after school jazz group. And I remember going and I was really scared because jazz is just super hard music to play.
It's
And I
very
was
technical.
nervous and I felt all like gross when I was there because I was like, oh, I'm not good enough for this. But then it intrigued me. So I kept going. And
Yeah.
then I kept playing jazz in high school and actually just started listening to way more jazz. I ended up having this jazz radio show with my friend Randy on this small station in Bend, where I'm from. And he was a huge jazz head. He was a saxophone player. And so he showed me a bunch of stuff, and then we would like listen
So
together.
it was like an hour of jazz. Were you playing just whatever was in your mind, or you were you choosing what to play? What was it like?
Yeah, it was like I think it was an hour, and we would plan it every week, like the day before. And we
Hmm.
usually would have we'd either well, sometimes it was a theme. One thing we did a lot was we would just listen to a lot of stuff together, and then we would kind of talk about some of the stuff that we were liking that we wanted to play. But then we
Right.
did one thing where we would tie it together as far as like, oh, we're gonna play this song off this record, and this has these musicians on it. And then
Okay.
next song would be like an album of one of the musicians that played on that record, and then we would
Hmm.
keep doing that. So, because all these jazz guys, they all played in each other's bands, and so it was easy
Right.
to just be like, okay, Coltrane, now this guy, now this guy.
Hmm.
Um, and so I just listened to a lot of jazz, and I just really liked it, and I had fun playing it, and I don't think I was like super naturally great I don't know. I was hard on myself. I didn't ever feel like I was a super great drummer, but I just really loved it. And luckily, I did, get into college for it. So I guess I was good enough to get into this school that it's a state school, but they have a pretty crazy jazz program. U
Oh,
U of O, they
yes.
actually have a really good jazz program, and so I ended up getting in there.
Hmm.
And yeah, I
So
went there.
you went to university because of music, not because you were thinking of a career in any other professional thing. You were just went there just for music.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not really sure what I thought at the time. I think my dream was to just be like a touring drummer. But I
Hmm.
also acknowledge that college is just a place to learn. And so I thought even if I don't can't support myself with music, at least I can
Hmm.
fun studying it. But unfortunately, the program was really intense because they made you do so much classical music too, which I didn't have
Hmm.
really any experience doing, and it was really hard. And they made you take so many classical classes that it was
Okay.
like more of that than even jazz. And it was hard to fit in all the practicing on all the different instruments you're supposed to play. And on top
Hmm.
of that, it was like I have bipolar disorder and I was like undiagnosed at the time and it started getting really bad. And so I was like not sleeping and blah, blah, blah. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got like
You
scholarships.
burned out. You were like burning out.
Yeah, totally. And like I kept telling myself that I couldn't leave that school because I got scholarships to go there.
Hmm.
Was like kept saying like you just have to stay here and stick it out. And it was actually like I said, U of O, so it was in Eugene, Oregon. But
Right.
then I started into my second year and I just was hating it. And I was like, you know what? I just have to get out of here. So I moved to Portland. I joined the jazz program at PSU, Portland State.
Yeah.
And that was all right for about a year. And then I kind of had the same thing happen where I was just really
Hmm.
I was just really mentally unwell and school was not the right thing for me, which always surprised me that I felt that way in college because I was really like an academic when I was in high school and did really well. But I think that
Hmm.
music, there's just kind of a lot of pressure and I would just get so nervous
Yeah.
about all these different things I had to do. Like you had to do juries, which was like your finals, and you'd have to play in front of the entire department.
Right.
I would get so nervous that I would be like shaking and like just
Well,
not end up
but
doing
you were
that.
in the back playing drums. At least you weren't in the front at the beginning.
Well, they know they would make you play like just drum,
Oh,
which
just
is weird.
okay.
That's why it felt kind of weird because it's like it's just exposing you. And then it would often be like, oh, you had to transcribe a famous like jazz solo, and that is actually pretty hard to do. And I wasn't super great at it because I hadn't done it a lot. So anyway, yeah, I
Yeah.
ended up dropping out again.
Okay.
And so I just ended up not getting a bachelor's because I was just too unwell to do it. And then, but
Right.
luckily, it was like after that that I actually I kept playing in drums in a bunch of different bands, but I
Hmm.
started experimenting with making beats and
Right.
producing tracks. And then I thought, I just got sick of all these bands I was in falling apart. And I thought, if I'm the leader of the band, it can't fall apart, because I could always get like other people to come play if someone leaves.
Right.
But then I thought, oh, but if I'm the leader of the band, I kind of have to be a singer, I guess. And so then I just started teaching myself how to sing. And at the time, I was really into Erykah Badu. So I was just like
Okay.
singing her songs all the time. And her songs are cool because they're kind of like, uh, a lot of them are like pretty easy to sing.
Easy.
They're like
Yeah.
and it's like it was like sort of in my range. So I was kind of practicing singing by singing her songs and then
Hmm.
slowly started. I just felt so awkward when I first started singing because I was like, I didn't start singing until I was like 20 or 21. And
Really? So
yeah,
when
that
was
was
the
like,
first time you took vocal lessons? Was that at that time or you took them later?
yeah, I had never sang. I had never been in
Hmm.
choirs or anything. I started, the thing I started doing was I would record myself singing and then listen back just to kind of see what my voice sounded like. Because when you hear your voice, it
Oh,
sounds
yes.
different. And
Yes.
so I sort of taught myself that way, like by like going, oh, I sound too nasally. I need to, I kept kind of tweaking my voice. Um, and then I think maybe like a year or two into singing, I finally actually took some lessons from this one girl. And I did that for maybe like half a year or something. And she just taught me better technique, like breathing and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, which I wasn't doing super well before that. And so my voice probably got stronger when I was taking those lessons. But yeah, I've always been really hard on myself about my singing because I felt like I was like a late in life singer. So it wasn't like, when you
Yeah.
grow up learning something, it comes more naturally. But
Yeah.
because I didn't do it growing up, I always felt like I had to
Yeah.
try really
It
hard
seems
not
it
to
seems
sound
to
like,
me like you're never happy. It's never good enough for you what you do. It's
yeah.
always you always find something that you're not looking for perfection, but it seems like you think you could do better, which is good, but
Mhm.
it's you keep moving up and doing better things, but you're never. It seems like you're never happy with. Not you're happy. You see, my English is really bad. That's why I keep saying happy.
Okay, you're
That's not
okay.
the right word. You know that, right? Yeah. But feel you're very motivated. You want to do good, and
Mhm.
even if you're doing really great, you still think it's not good enough. You could do better. So it's something that you always push for, right?
Yeah, I think so many musicians are like that. I think I was really extra hard on myself because I grew up playing jazz, and jazz is a
Mm,
style where it's really virtuosic music. It takes so many years to get good at it. Um, it's just really hard music to play well.
sure.
So people are teachers are pretty intense, and it's also really male dominated. So there's kind of a lot of like
Yes.
male ego and a lot of
Yes.
there's kind of a lot of sexism there. Just like if you're a girl playing jazz, it's like you're not allowed to be mediocre. You have to be great, or people will just kind of
Mm,
not be nice to you. But anyway, so I think I grew up with all these teachers being really hard on me. I did also have some really great teachers that were really encouraging, but I had enough of the ones that were like the weird screamer, crazy
Were
female.
they more like male teacher, male
Oh
or
yeah.
female? Male, right?
I don't think I ever had, no, I never had like a female teacher that was like that. All the female teachers I ever had were really great. I
Hmm.
also had a lot of great male teachers too, but the male teachers were always the ones that were the ones that would kind of just like, I would just be like afraid of them, you know?
Yeah.
So I think because I grew up learning music that way, like jazz is really like hardcore. It's like you're always like you're always shedding and you're always like practicing so much and you're trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
not
yeah,
suck and you want to be able to go to jams and like, not embarrass yourself or whatever.
yeah.
So
Right.
I even though I was like starting to do a different kind of music, I
Right.
still had that mentality and I still was just always like after every show I played, even if people were like, "Oh, that was great" or complimentary, I'd still just be in my head like, "Ah, fucking sucked." I fucked so bad or whatever.
So, but you
No,
never walked away from, like, say, institutional jazz. You did walk away, but it's still there. Where even whatever you do, even the latest tracks and stuff, there's something there that's still behind you that has some jazz in it, something in there that I noticed. So it's
yeah, yeah. I think
never left. You left, but there's always some remains.
yeah, when I started writing songs, like I loved playing drums with people, but practicing drums by myself was always kind of a chore. And when I
Hmm.
started writing songs, I realized, oh my God, I'm so much naturally better at this than
Hmm.
playing drums. And I just enjoyed it more. And I kind of thought maybe I'm meant to do this instead of being a drummer. So that's why I kind of
Hmm.
slowly, was in less and less bands. And then finally just went to like not being a drummer in any bands and just doing my own band.
Hmm.
So I'm really glad I kind of found what I'm doing now and made that switch. But
Yes.
I will always love that style of music, and it always definitely is coming through in some
Yeah.
way,
Some way.
especially with the drums with my music.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
want the drums to be crazy because
Yeah.
I love drums. And so I remember when I first started singing and stuff, I felt a little bit like, oh God, I should have started doing this earlier. Why was I trying to play drums for so long? I could, if I had started this when I was like 15, maybe I'd be way further along or whatever. But then,
Yeah.
like years later, I realized I'm really glad that I did all of the drumming and all of the jazz and stuff because I feel like so much of my music now is the drums are,
Yeah.
a really big part of it. And I think that if I had never been a drummer, I would have definitely made wildly different
Yeah.
music.
Of course, you'll be a
So
totally
I still,
different
at
music.
this point, I feel happy that I did that.
Yeah.
I still wish I had started singing a little earlier, but
Hmm.
that's all good.
Yeah. When that first record, The Wait, how old were you when you released that album? If you can tell, it was 2014. Am
Yeah,
I
so
right on that?
okay, 2014. I was like 23, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I had been slowly chipping away at that. Some of the songs were just songs that I produced fully, like the drums and everything.
Hmm.
And then some songs I had hired band members to record.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that album is just that was kind of the album's kind of just my experiment.
Like a trial
I,
and
I
error.
can't really I can't really listen to it
Weren't you happy with the results? You thought that it wasn't that great, or that just, well,
at the
you threw
time.
at it whatever you had in your mind and whatever you could do, I guess, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I look back at that album and I think like, wow, I really learned how to like that album was the first time I ever wrote songs or sang
Hmm.
or produced. Like it was like all these new things for me I had never done. And so honestly, I can't really listen to it
You
because
don't listen to it. You
like
know.
it kind of makes me cringe, but I'm also proud of it in the sense that I guess had the courage to do these things that I had never done before. And I
Yeah.
did get good response from like the Portland scene um at the time. So, and also like I think that album made some of the band members I ended up having like want to work with me on my
Oh.
second record I did. So,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I'm proud of all my records, but I definitely I actually don't think I've listened to that album in probably like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I almost don't even remember what it sounds like. It's kind of
There is
funny.
nothing there that you can take and use somewhere else. Is that what you're trying to say?
Um,
Like
you
some maybe it's a track that you think is a good track that you could, you know, use or take some out of it that's good enough for something, you know. I don't know. I don't know how to say
Oh
it.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know,
um,
like a groove or it's like
like
a drum or
things in that album that I think are cool. I think the
yeah.
thing that bothers me about it is maybe just thinking about how the production sounds. And I
Okay.
sang pretty differently then, and I think
Yeah.
I get a little cringed out when I hear how I sang then. But that's just a me thing, you know. I feel
Yeah.
like I said, I'm proud of the album, and I'm
Yeah.
happy with it, and I'll always be proud of things I did at the time. But it's just like I
Yeah.
don't, I don't really want to listen to it.
Maybe in 10
But I
years,
think it's,
10
no,
years
I
later I'll take a
think that
look.
other people appreciate it,
I
and
appreciate it. I listened to it. There were
thank you.
some songs that they're good enough, I think. They were good. There's an album that I really
Had a
enjoyed.
lot of rappers on that album.
Yeah, there are a lot other people. Yeah, I see their names.
That's probably the
But
album I have the most, or maybe the only album I have with features on it.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Then you have at least four, or I don't remember some four tracks with different.
yeah. I had a couple different rappers, and
Mm,
at the time I was listening to a lot of hip hop, so I wanted to have
mm,
rap verses on my record because I was really inspired by that
mm-hmm.
style of music.
I was going to ask you before I forget. Do you enjoy listening more to female singers or male singers? Or doesn't
At
matter?
this, I mean, at this point in my life, it's female singers.
Okay.
Different points in my life, it's been different. Like, you know, I listened to a lot of bands back in the day that had a lot, you know, a lot of male singers, like rock bands and stuff. But then
Mm.
of the last probably 5 years, it's like probably like 90% of the artists I listen to are female singers. No
Well,
hate to the
no,
guys,
no, 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 no.
but stylistic preference, I guess.
I enjoy all kinds of music, you know. I don't listen to everything. I still like female singers more than male singers. To tell you the truth, maybe I don't know why, but my favorite musicians are female.
Yeah, and I think
Only
it's not
one male. Well, only one male that I'll put first, but
uh,
everything else is just you know. I enjoy David Bowie.
more
I'm
than even their
crazy,
voice.
but then I enjoy Kate Bush, and that's one thing I one of your covers versions that you made, which is a lot of people say that you sound a little bit like Kate Bush. I could say that, yeah, a little bit. I think so.
I think
Just saying,
at the time
think so.
little bit.
A little bit.
I just had a friend tell me that they were like, I don't, you know, it was when I was first showing people my recordings and I was all felt weird about my voice, and I had a friend be like, "Oh, your voice is unique. I can't really think of anyone you sound like except maybe sort of like Kate Bush."
Yeah,
That was when I first checked out Kate Bush
yeah,
because of telling me that, because I had never listened to her.
yeah.
And then that's when I decided to do that Running Up That Hill cover.
That,
'Cause that
yeah,
song was
very different. That I enjoyed. Because if I want to listen to the same, might as well listen to the original. If I'm going to listen to a song that you cover, better as well be something else. And it is, you know. So that's good. Uh, I was going to ask you that your brother, for what I read, you know, is not your brother is Dell. His name Dell. Is
yeah,
that right?
his real name's Dale, but he goes by Jake.
Okay, Jake. He's
Yeah.
a video editor or a visual creator. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, so he went to school for audio engineering, and with my first record he did
Hmm.
I think like maybe like half of the songs on my first record he mixed for me and helped me. I would go to Seattle a lot, and he was going to the Art Institute, and they had a lot of studios there. So I used to go
Oh,
to
okay.
Seattle to like record in some of the studios, and he would help me record vocals. But then after that, he decided he didn't want to do audio engineering anymore, and he got into film, and so
Okay.
that's like that's his main interest now is.
Okay. Did he collaborate with any of your videos that that you published?
Oh yeah, so he actually
Hmm.
made this video for my song from my first record. Oh my God,
Hmm.
what's the song called?
That's
Um,
right. You never go to it, so you don't know the songs. I'll tell you. It said "Or
it's,
in
it's
Limbo,"
called
maybe you. I don't know.
it's called Radiant in My Abyss. It's on my first record. Or wait, no, it's not my
No, it's not. It's not.
second record.
That's on your "When the Birds Begin to Walk."
Yeah, yeah. So he actually
Great
did.
album. I must say. I gotta say, it's a great album. I sometimes I think I'm listening to a prog music. I don't know, King Crimson or something. Those guitar riffs. I don't know what's going on, but I really enjoyed that
I
album.
was at the time I was really into writing that. Not everything, but most of the songs on that
Mm.
record, I actually like wrote all the guitar parts.
Oh, that's
So I don't know, I was just really into that sound at the time. I've always liked the running lines, like the kind of Bach mixed with jazz kind of
yeah.
thing.
It was very.
Um,
I really enjoyed
yeah.
that album. My wife really did enjoy it. It's like
Oh,
on
cool.
all those unexpected sounds that will come up right away. Like, yeah, she's very, very, very good.
That was the album that when I put it out in Portland, I think I just uh got a really good response from it, which felt really good because like I said, my first album was kind of like an experiment, and then that second album felt like really locking in with the kind of thing I was trying to do. And
Did
so
they give
yeah,
you a prize or something for some kind of for best record or something in Portland or something I read? I
um,
don't know if it's true.
I got like all the main like blogs and newspapers and
Yeah,
magazines like all reviewed that album and gave it really good reviews.
yeah,
And it helped me get a lot of shows, and I got to like open for some artists I really like. It just kind of like that album kind of just took me to the next level as far as like
yeah,
getting noticed in Portland and
yeah.
um
Sounds very
having
experimental album to me, like.
yeah, yeah, and I think it was just also that there's a lot of a certain kind of music in Portland, and I think that's
Hmm,
why I really struggled to get shows when I was doing my first album because I think
hmm,
people really know who to put me with. But then when I did my second album and I got reviews and write-ups and stuff, then bookers and stuff started like they like knew who I was from that, and so I could
hmm.
start getting shows. And then because my band was kind of unique we would end up getting put on bills um, where it was like, if like a jazz soul kind of person came to
Yeah.
Portland, like
I guess it
like
was hard
Coco
for them
like a show.
to fit you with other bands because you were doing something different. I don't know. That was like,
I was really excited. I think one of my favorite shows that we played was we got to open for Hiatus Coyote.
oh, okay, I heard them. Not bad.
Oh, you would like them. If you like my
Yeah,
second
I
record,
heard of them. I heard that
people kind
name.
of compared.
Yeah.
They're very different. They're way more soul, and the singer for that band is like way crazier singer. But they had like a pretty distinctive, cool, like kind of prog soul
Hmm.
sound. And so because we were kind of closer to that, we got to open for them, and
Hmm.
that was really fun. I felt like it was the first band we played with that we really were like genre wise like really suited to play with, I think.
That's cool. So tell me, when you moved from Portland to LA, well, it's totally different musically city. Uh, Also less rain, I guess. But
Yeah.
uh, what made you this move for you? What pushed you to go to LA? Was there people that you really connected with over there, or you were there prior and you enjoyed the city and you thought you could do much better if you moved there?
Yeah, it was a lot of different things. I knew that I always wanted to move to a bigger city, but I just didn't have enough money to for a long time. I was pretty broke when I lived in Portland.
Hmm.
Um, when I grew up, I really wanted to move to New York. But then one time I went on this longer tour with this band as a drummer.
Hmm.
In my early 20s, it was like right before I put my first record out. Um, we went to LA twice on the tour because they were signed to this label here.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, this is my because I I love warm weather and I hate rain. I was always so depressed in Portland because of the weather. And I just remember driving around in LA and I was like, I think I need to come here. So I
Mm,
had that in my head starting in like, I don't know, 20 or sorry, 2014 or something, but then didn't end up moving till the beginning of 2018 because I just kind of was doing a lot of stuff with my band and I also felt like there's a certain cap in Portland, and there's not really there's a lot of awesome, cool experimental music, but there isn't a lot of way to sort of climb there, I
okay,
guess. And so I just thought, I don't know, like, give LA a try,
try.
see what happens. And yeah, and then when I moved here, I wanted to change up the style I was doing again because I
Mm,
was just checking out a lot of new music that I had never listened to before when I moved to LA. And so it kind of inspired me to do something different. I also couldn't afford to like really have band members record with me because my first two records I funded through Kickstarter and Kickstarter was just starting to not be a thing anymore.
right.
I
Okay.
remember thinking, okay, the only way I can make music now is to just produce it myself and then get like band members to play live with me.
Mm.
Um, so that's another reason why I switched to doing like electro, like alternative pop was because I literally didn't really have a choice. I couldn't afford to record a full band in the studio like
I
I did
understand.
second record.
S- s-
But I'm glad sometimes your limitations, push you
Of
in a certain
course.
direction.
When you have too many tools around you, you don't know what to do with them. It's so many. When you have little, you have to work with what you have, and you are more experimental. And I guess you makes you think more what you going to do. It's not like so easy anymore. I don't know. I'm not a musician, so I'm
I
just
started
talking.
listening. I mean, I started thinking about music a lot differently when I started producing. I used
Mm,
to come in with charts to my band and they would
mm,
read the charts and then we would arrange it together. I never recorded the songs before bringing them to my band. And then when I started producing, it was the total opposite. It was like I was doing the
mm,
recordings, kind of playing most of the parts, and then bringing it to a group and going, okay,
mm,
just learn this instead of having to like arrange it with a band, which kind of gave me more control. And I realized I liked that better ultimately.
mm,
Or not saying like the musicians that I played with in Portland were amazing and I loved arranging the songs with them. But I think, sometimes you have a thing in mind and unless you're the one executing it, it's not gonna end up quite being what you were imagining, which sometimes is totally cool. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
think the new songs, I was like, oh, this is cool because I can do everything exactly the way that I'm imagining it.
yeah. Mm.
Uh,
Did you still get in touch with those people, or you just don't
yeah,
talk?
yeah, I'm still in touch with them. My
Mm,
second record I had a really awesome band for that record, and we played together for probably like 2 years.
mm,
That specific group of people, it was
yeah.
this really awesome drummer, Micah Hummel, who's like this hotshot jazz drummer in Portland who just still lives there and playing tons of cool gigs. And then
Mm,
the bass player was this guy, Alex Meltzer, who um, is really great bass player, also really great producer, and he still lives in Portland.
mm.
And then the guitar player on it was my best friend Grant Saylor, who I actually live in this house with.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
We both ended up moving to LA and we lived in a bunch of different places, but then we ended up being roommates again. So we've been making music together for like
Oh, I apologize to him if I'm keeping her away for a while. I apologize.
that's all good.
Well, uh, that album you were talking about was Alive and Alone. That's the 2021. There are really good songs that I enjoyed there. The first song, Tells, I really like that song a lot.
Thank you.
Uh, Under Clouds, that's
Mhm.
another one. There's a bunch of them. Um, so that's a good album. So, like you mentioned, you produce and write most of your catalog is all yours now. Whatever you do is almost all yours. There's not too many people putting. Well, I know you got collaborators and other musicians, but most of whatever you do is, I don't know, 80% yours. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, when I was doing Alive and Alone, I was still like I always like co-produced my
Mm,
music, but I always ended up having to go to an engineer to finish it because I didn't have enough skills to finish it on my own.
right.
Um, and so I was still in that phase where I was starting to make beats, still making beats and producing more and trying to get a little better.
Mm,
But was still kind of not thinking of myself as a producer and still thinking, oh, I really still need to work with a producer. I was like, I didn't have the confidence to go all in on it then.
right.
So Alive and Alone was some of the songs are more me production, and then a lot of the songs are my friend Grant Saylor, the guitar player who I live with
Mm,
now, my best friend, and he produced the some of the songs on that album, and then I kind of like co-produced a little bit, but it was like more him driving. But then
mm,
it was after that record that every like the album after that record, and then the album I'm about to release this winter is pretty
oh,
much all me. And like sometimes I have Grant co-write with me, so some of the songs he'll be a co-writer on, but I do all the production myself
okay.
on all of the newer songs. So
So this coming record, does it have a lot of tracks? Just oh, it's more like the album that you published in 2024, I think it was. Tears for
yeah,
Us,
so
the
that
Sunrises, because those are like 20, I don't know, 3 or 23 tracks on that album.
yeah, but
Live album, some
it's a
live.
lot of well, so I that's another part of my project is I have I at like 2018 or 2019, not long after I moved to LA, I decided to write like a story. Like I wanted to make Coco Columbia like a character.
Right.
So I wrote this sci-fi
Yes.
backstory for her. And I had this like long synopsis that was pretty detailed. And so I started writing all the songs from the perspective of that character.
Okay.
And so
How
I,
how would you describe that character, Coco Colombia, if you have to explain it to somebody like me? Like, what
yeah,
is
so
all about? Is it
the like quick pitch of it is that she's this android who's posing as a human pop star in future dystopian Los Angeles. And I'm really like the two movies I was really had in mind for the aesthetic of the idea of the world is a cross between like Blade Runner and the Mad Max movies, specifically The Road Warrior.
okay?
So I was kind of writing with those stories in mind, or not really so much the stories, but like the worlds. I
Is
was
that how
writing.
you feel about the world right now? Like so apocalyptic a little bit, like right now?
I feel that I feel like I'm back and forth with the state of things. I think there's a lot of
Right.
really, really bad things happening right now, obviously horrible things, but at the same time, I
Mm,
don't want to be all pessimistic person.
okay.
So I got pretty down about what's been happening this last couple years, but I feel like the
Mm.
last couple months, even though I'm still really feeling
You're not pessimistic.
I'm I'm I'm
All
I'm
the
still pessimistic about a lot of what's happening, but
some.
I've been able to kind of get myself out of this funk I was in about it, as far as like I can be positive and focus on things day to day, but I
Okay.
still like to be aware of what's happening. And
Mm.
I don't know, it's one of those hard things where it's like you're just seeing horrible things all the time, but then there's also good things
Good
happening.
things going on, yeah. But
Um,
I guess you realize those 1980s films, uh, most of them, Mad Max was in the 80s, no? That those
yeah,
uh,
80s. I
and
really
also Escape from New York. I remember watching that movie.
Yeah, Escape from New York is really cool.
It was a good
I
movie.
think that I love like sci-fi stories, and I really like the cyberpunk
Hmm.
worlds and the aesthetic of it, and the stories. I think that I really like those kind of stories because I feel like I what I like about sci-fi is that there's these authors that kind of throw these ideas out there, and it's like, oh, a lot of it
They
has ended
become,
up coming true.
yeah.
And so I feel like when people write sci-fi, it's kind of almost like a warning of,
Mm,
oh, here's one version of like something that could happen if we keep going this direction. And
right,
so even though it's a depressing thing, it kind of feels like, oh, well, we need to consider something like that
right.
and have that in mind when we're moving forward. And so that's what I really like about that style is it's kind of like
Yeah.
for example, I really love Black Mirror, and Black
Okay.
Mirror is really mostly really depressing.
Right.
But I like that it's kind of putting a lot of these ideas out there as like, oh, this is a lot of the things are that from that show have already happened or are happening now. But there's also a lot of things that haven't happened yet
Yes.
that like, oh, we should pay attention to these ideas and
Mm,
try to avoid
yeah.
things like this happening.
So you enjoy more watching sci-fi movies than those dark, scary movies, I guess.
You mean like, do you mean like horror
Yeah,
movies or?
like horror movies. It's
I
something
actually really love horror too. I got into
mm,
horror this last year.
mm,
Um, that's kind of a different thing. I think it's just sort of
yeah,
it's like a stylistic thing for me. I think
yeah.
horror is just a really cool.
It just for me it's like funny. Yeah, sometimes it's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of
Just
funny. It's kind of
yeah,
like it's just over the top, and I really
yeah,
like campy things. And
right,
so, and that's what I love about sci-fi too, is and that aesthetic is it's so campy, like the Mad Max.
right,
Like I've based my whole aesthetic on Mad Max, basically, like the with the clothes and everything.
right.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I really, really loved those movies and that aesthetic from the 80s, where it was the 80s version of the future.
Yeah,
They're like a cyberpunk Blade Runner kind of setting, or like,
right.
or the kind of post-apocalyptic, dusty,
Yeah,
rough leather daddy thing. Um,
I understand.
and yeah, like I said, I like the aesthetics, but I also like the stories. It's not
Mm,
just the aesthetics, but I pull a lot from the aesthetics of
yes.
all of them. Of
Yeah.
course, Matrix came in the 90s, but I was really inspired by the Matrix too. And so the Matrix is kind of
Mm,
head too. And then some of the Japanese cyberpunk animes, like I really like,
yeah, I
and
love
manga, like I really like
my
Ghost in
daughter
the
loves that.
Shell,
She's
and
really
also
into that.
Alita Battle Angel. Alita Battle Angel is that manga is probably like the story I wrote is probably most similar to
Mm,
that storyline of all the different stories that
yeah.
I feel like I pulled some
Mm.
inspiration from
So
that.
I was gonna ask you, when you started writing, were you writing more about yourself and now you're telling more stories than talking about what's in your mind or whatever you felt? I don't know.
Uh,
Is it
yeah,
more
I kind of,
like a telltale story now than, being talking about yourself, what you feel?
yeah. So I mean, my first two records, I didn't have that concept yet. I was just
Mm,
writing about my life and how
right.
I felt about the world, but I'm still doing that with these newer records. I'm just filtering it through this
Okay.
world. So it's like this character I created, she's has this story and she's in this world, but she's based on me. So it's like I can
Okay.
still express things that I feel through this character. Like I don't feel inhibited there. Like I don't feel like, oh, I can't write a song like this because it doesn't fit into that world. It's like everything
Hmm.
fits into that world in my mind. Most things fit into that world.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so it's still me. It's just like I feel like I made it more interesting for myself. It's like
Mm,
I remember seeing a Kate Bush interview where she said, "I'm so bored by day-to-day life. That's why I make up these stories." And that's exactly how I feel. I'm so bored with the
mm,
drudgery of bullshit you have to deal with, and so I kind of created this world to sort of
okay.
entertain myself,
So when I
inspire, make
if I
myself
meet
more inspired, I guess.
right.
Yeah.
Mm. So if I meet you on the street, who am I talking to? Both?
I guess, yeah. I mean, obviously, it is me. It's like if it's really it's just it is the only difference. Like if I was metal,
Do you need to be by yourself to write those lyrics? Or if there's people around, you cannot write?
Um, I think I've noticed when I collaborate with other people, I'm writing more from a like a my real life perspective, not connected to the story. Like those
Mm,
last two singles I put out are more from, my perspective as like a human person, not from the character's perspective.
mm,
And I kind of save the story and the character for like the music that I just make on my own.
mm,
Um, so those two songs, for example, like I wouldn't put that on my record because my record is the character. But I like experimenting and doing collaborations with other people and then just having them as singles
mm.
that I don't necessarily need to put on an album or an
Right.
EP or something.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much you have a lot of creative autonomy. Nobody's gonna tell you what to do at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, it's like I don't know. But more to answer your question, I guess I feel like I kind of have to write those kind of songs in solitude by myself because I'm
Mm,
really, when you write with other people in LA, there's such a culture of like busting stuff out really fast, writing really quickly, kind
mm,
of writing the first thing that comes to mind. And
mm,
when I'm writing from the character's perspective, I'm like really thinking about the lyrics and thinking about the world and trying to do the best possible version of it and like a lot of rewrites and revisions and stuff. But when I'm writing with other people,
mm,
it's just like writing quickly and just kind of coming up with a concept and then writing, which I like doing, but I think I still will always come back to preferring
mm.
to.
Do you write on paper or do you use a computer for that?
I used to write everything on paper back in the day, but now I write, I guess, lyrics in my phone
Oh, okay.
app or like the notes app because I like that I can then just pull it up on my computer or pull it up on my phone at any point and edit it and add to
Mm,
it. Yeah.
mm, mm. I was gonna ask you. Well, I'm gonna ask you a question. I don't know if it makes sense, but do you ever struggle between the positive side of you and the negative? Like there is something positive here that's pushing you to do something, and then the negative is telling you no, not to do. It's like the devil and the angel or whatever you want to call it. But do you struggle on that?
Oh yeah, I mean the that duality is like kind of
Yeah.
to my music because I have bipolar disorder and I've
Mm,
really struggled a lot with that in my life. I've gone through some really
mm,
good times where hospitalizations and
right.
seeing things that aren't there, like, hallucinations and
Right.
auditory, that kind of stuff. So,
Mm,
the character actually, to dive in a little more, there's like, I don't know if I need to explain like how or why this happens yet, but she's like this character that starts out as one like entity inside this android, but then she gets in this accident and the
mm,
accident like kind of damages the first drive and activates the second drive, but then they're still kind of going between each other. So the second drive activates and it's like this blank slate. So then it turns
mm,
out these two entities or personalities inside this one body. And there's always this like glitching that happens and she's going back and forth. And the first personality like went through this whole trauma that's like a whole part of the story that is the
mm.
sad, depressed melancholy, trying to fix what happened personality, which is like my depressed personality. And then the new blank slate personality is like the kind of really like the Coco Columbia on stage, the
Mm,
mania, the excitement, the wanting to be around people.
right.
And so like it's like even before I had the character in mind, I was still writing from this kind of duality of my
Mm,
moods. But then once I had the character, it was like, oh, okay, it really was like, reinforcing to me to drive that point home even more.
right.
So some of the songs are like, most of the songs are written by the sad girl. And then I like to think of like I write the songs when I'm sad and then I finish them when I'm manic.
Okay.
Because, but again, like I'm on meds now, so it's like different now.
Yeah.
But
Well, this
yeah,
is
in
a
the story,
never-ending character. It will never end. It's always developing. I guess that's the right word. It's,
yeah, and I like I wanted that character to sort of be like a metaphor for, you know, people in the world that are struggling with different
Mm,
mental issues, but also just struggling with like personal things in their lives
right.
and like, showing how these you can have all these kind of fragments and broken pieces of yourself, but and it can feel chaotic and crazy, but at the
Hmm.
end it's all still you and you can always still kind of have all
Right.
those personalities collaborate and
Right.
get
Yeah.
so yeah.
For me, you look very interesting. One thing is that before we connected and started with the interview, I was like, I had no idea how you're gonna look when your appearance, because I seen photos, I seen posts, and I'm like, I wonder how is she gonna look? I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, because I have a whole like get up.
yeah,
With my first two records, I wore a wig.
yeah, yeah.
So that was a whole separate thing. And then once I created the character, I decided to base the new character on like the aesthetic of it was a cyberpunk post-apocalyptic thing. So it was like all black, leather,
Right.
silver, the guitar with the silver on it, like, and then eventually just got sick of wearing the wigs and just went to just using my real hair.
Right.
Instead of yeah just kind of so the character kind of morphed, but I'm trying to keep this now have this consistency with the aesthetic of
Yeah.
the kinds of things I wear and the kinds of
Yeah.
the way the music sounds and all of
Yeah.
that.
I really enjoyed that. I was going to ask you, when you go on stage, how do you organize? How long does it take you to do the setup?
So my current setup is just me and a drummer, and
Okay, that's what I see. Yeah.
post-pandemic, I switched because the pandemic was when I really dove in and got way better at production and decided to just do everything myself. And so
Mm,
I had this idea back when I had my band, I never thought I would have been someone that would have run tracks. But then with my new music, it's like there's so many very specific electronic sounds and synth sounds that can't be recreated live.
of course not.
But I want it to sound like the record. So I thought, what if I have the tracks playing, I play over them, I have a drummer play over them. And I originally wanted to have like a bass or guitar thing, but then I thought, you know what? Let's make this really simple. I'll just have the tracks, I'll play guitar and sing over it, and then I'll have a drummer. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually really like that setup because it's so much easier than
Easy.
having a full band and having to have rehearsals and stuff. I only have one person I have to coordinate with, and then I
Right.
also play solo shows when he's unavailable. And I used to not have a way to perform solo
Right.
back in the day. So yeah, it's a whole setup. I'm running, I have tracks playing on my computer in Logic Pro and the song
Yeah.
I'm just going straight through the songs in one session and then running effects on my vocals live and
Yeah.
guitar running into the computer. Everything is running into my interface and then goes straight out to the house.
Yeah. I see
Sometimes
the
when I setting up, the sound guys are like, "Wait, what?" And then I'm like, "No, it's all coming out of my interface. Every single thing that I'm have up here is all
yeah.
coming out of the interface except for the drums." So it's
Yeah.
simple for them. It's a little bit, slower of a setup for me, but once I get everything there, then it all
Yeah.
like works and makes sense.
Yeah. I see the guitar right behind you. I guess that's the one I see in the videos.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, the
that's the
guitar.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I saw it
but
before. And like, it has to be the one. Uh, Yeah. When you're on stage, how do you feel? Do you visualize what's going to happen? Like, let's say you're going to have I don't know, I think in August or something going on, like a dance party or something. Do you visualize what's going to happen when you go on stage? What may happen, or you don't think about that?
um, I think I've always gotten really nervous before I perform, but I'm probably the most confident I've ever been in my life with my current set. And
Hmm.
so my nerves are better than they used to be, but I still do get nervous right before. But I've
Hmm.
noticed what's different now is back when I used to get nervous, I would start performing and I would still have this like shaky, nervous feeling in my body. And it wouldn't be till maybe the last three songs of the set that I would finally settle into it. But
Hmm.
now when I perform, I'm really nervous up until the first song starts, and then once I start playing, it just like goes, the nerves go away. I get really
Hmm.
excited, and then I just have so much fun performing. And I used to not really have fun performing because I was just so in my head about everything, and then
Hmm.
I finally kind of got rid of that. And I wish that I could not have the nerves right before. It'd be nice just to be calm, but I'm such a
Right.
perfectionist. It's so hard
Yeah.
for, though I know I'm prepared and have practiced and all of that, I still have that perfectionist side of me where I'm always like, oh, is something going to go wrong? Is my computer going to shut off? Am
Okay.
my vocal effects going to feedback really bad? Like I'm always still thinking about all these things. But then I do feel like the last couple shows I've played, I'm like, wow, I really had fun, you know. I really actually enjoyed it. And then when I'm up there, song to song, I'm trying to drop into the story. So it's like every
Hmm.
song is part of the story. So I'm imagining I'm the character in the story.
Okay.
And that's what, and also that's what gives me this stage confidence that I don't really have in my day-to-day life. It's like I'm becoming this way more confident version of myself through the character, which is
Hmm.
another reason why I kind of created that because I was so, grew up playing drums, always being in the background, and then I had to be this front person, and I was terrified, and so I thought that was
Hmm.
like why I like originally got the wig is because I thought maybe if I wear a wig, it'll like force me to kind of step up
Uh,
to look of it. But I mean, there's all these famous rock star people that all kind of did that, and like
of
David
course.
Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, and all that stuff. So
Right. Right.
kind of how I think about it. Um,
Oh.
and then
Well,
I feel
people.
like empowered. Like I feel empowered after I play. I'm like, oh, I wish I could like feel like that all the time. But I only really feel like that when I'm playing or when I'm working on something that I'm like
Yeah.
enjoying.
Well,
Mm.
it's a way to protect yourself, but you don't have to be an artist to do that. Regular people do that all the time. They pretend to be somebody else or there's some other character, so they behave in a different way when they're somebody else. So, but that's what I do. I pretend
And I
to
think
be an
that it,
interviewer, and I'm a nobody. You know what I mean?
you're not nobody. I think that, there's like unhealthy ways to do that. Like someone's trying to try so hard to be a certain thing that they're truly not because
Right,
they're projecting themselves so much. And that's not good. But I also think there's a positive version of it, which is like imagining like what's the best, most confident version of yourself, your own personality and how you really are, and how can you step up to that and
right,
evolve into it. And that's what I'm thinking about all the time in my day-to-day life with just who I am, just me. But then especially with the character too, I'm like, I like that I have this character now because I can like think about her and think about like what she like
right.
is, I don't even think about her as me, I think about her as this other thing. And
But
so
you think that character is better than you? I don't know, better, but it has a
not
better
better, like
personality
more,
than yours. Than yours,
more confident.
more
Um,
confident than you. Okay,
because yeah, I think just really the only difference is more confidence
okay,
generally. But
okay.
other than that, I'm exactly the same as the two personalities.
Well, for me, you're great with both personalities.
Thank you.
uh, Also, from what I read, because you mentioned that you are a vegan. How when did you start not eating animal products?
Oh, I was a vegan. I'm not a vegan anymore, but I have more restrictions now. I was a vegan for about like 10 years, I think.
Okay,
Started when I was like 21 or 22, and then I started when I was like 32. I started eating fish and chicken again
okay,
because I was having a lot of health problems, not having enough protein and being anemic and all these different things.
right,
And like, I think if you're really rich, it's easy to be a vegan because you can get really expensive alternatives. But if you're not rich, you can't. You have to have all these things that are kind of processed and so much worse than just eating meat. But it was a
I
moral, environmental thing for me. So
right,
I still don't eat red meat because I just don't like the idea of eating mammals. I
okay,
feel like they're us, like I feel like a cow is like me. But then I know it sounds bad, but I think with chicken and fish, it's like I still feel guilty for eating them, but it's like they're
yeah.
these kind of
I
species
feel
or whatever.
guilty. I feel
I feel like
guilty
with
all the time.
I'm more like, oh, I really don't like the idea of eating a pig or a um, a cow
or sheep.
because I just
Yeah, I have that problem. I eat meat. I don't eat that much. I used to eat more. Right, I maybe eat once a week, or that's about it. But I still eat everything, all kinds of food. But I feel bad after, but never before. So that's not
Mhm.
a good thing. If I felt bad before eating, that would be different. But I feel bad after I eat. you know, Like, if I get, like, say, lobsters and I gotta boil them in a pot and they're still alive, I just, I put them on. I don't want to see that. And then after I eat it, they taste great. And then I say, why did I do that? And then,
Yeah, no, yeah, I feel that. I still have a lot of guilt with eating chicken and fish, but I think I just kind of felt like it was like if I was going to continue not eating them, I was really going to sacrifice
yeah,
my health.
for you
Really
it's
good. I
different.
also had, when I was in my 20s, I had a lot of really debilitating, crazy, weird health problems, and part of it was the diet I
Right.
had. Um, but I
Yeah.
have kind of joked that I thought if I ever had more money and I could afford it, I would probably try to be vegan again.
Hmm.
But I still don't eat, I also don't eat dairy still,
Okay.
because I'm like allergic to it. So I kind of like the pescatarian diet plus chicken.
Okay. All right. I just checking
It
just
was
in
really
case if
hardcore when I was in my early 20s. I was just a very angry vegan. I was
okay.
like,
Against
really,
everybody else. Well, just in
well,
case if
I wouldn't like cuss people out or anything, but I would write about it and stuff like my song Coveted Creatures from my second album
okay.
about that. It's about like not eating, like why would you eat these beautiful creatures?
Yes, yes. Well, just in case if I ever invite you to my house, I know what I can give you, you never
Yeah.
know. I'll remember that. So tell me, Coco. So what's coming up next in this music project? You're gonna release an album you just mentioned. I have no idea. Maybe the winter of this year, uh, and you're gonna be being yourself and this character all together in one package, I guess. You're not gonna release any jazz records anytime soon. Let's say that.
I mean, I could see myself eventually going back to maybe something more stylistically like what I used to do, but I think it would have to make sense. I think if I had somehow had more money or had a budget again, I would make another record that's a full band for sure. I
Okay.
would love to do that, but until then, it's gonna be it's
Well,
gonna
it's
be
plenty of
instrumental.
time. You're
And
not going
it's gonna
anywhere,
be
Coco.
electronic. It's gonna be electronic until that happens, but so the album I'm releasing this winter is Act Two. So the last record I had was Act One. It's going to be Tears Falls, The Sun Rises, Act Two, and it's going to have again the narrative vignettes that I had on that album are going to continue. The story is going to continue
Right,
onto
with
this
different
album
scenes. Yeah, different scenes. That
so it's
is
going to be the same layout. It's going to be like, you
hmm,
know, song or two, narrative vignette, and that's why there's so many tracks on that album because a lot of them are vignettes and
right.
um, like uh, Live at the Horizon is actually it's a fake venue that
Get out of
exists.
here. I thought it was a real venue. You really,
So
you
I know
really
I
fooled
realize
me.
that's probably like misleading, but I was imagining I like the idea of having little live clips that kind of played some of my old songs to kind of reference like some of my old songs.
Okay.
But I thought I like the idea of having so there's like the Horizon is like this venue that exists in LA in the Coco Columbia universe. And so
You really pushed me. I went into Google and I typed Horizon Club in LA. I typed a bunch of stuff. I said, where is this Horizon? I never heard of it. And now you tell me, I'm like, well, that's the reason I couldn't find anything.
So
That's
I think like obviously it's misleading, but the point of creating it was that eventually another part of the story and the project I'm working on is I'm working on turning it into an animated series, and that's going to be a whole
oh, okay.
like really long process. But I wanted to have that on the album so that in the future, when more of the story comes out, it will be like, this is the venue that she plays at.
Right.
But what I wanted to do was like basically I took short snippets of older songs and put
Yes.
this on them where they sounded like they're in an arena. And then I put like, this song, and most of them were songs from my second record.
Yes.
So like
Mhm.
this song, Live at the Horizon, and it's like a 20-second clip or something. And I know that seems weird, like maybe I'm not trying to be like misleading with it being
No,
live. I
no,
just
no.
wanted it to like exist in this world. And then I think eventually down the road, when this more of the story is revealed, people could look back at that album and go, oh, that's, like I'm trying to like, even if not everything, so much of the world isn't out there yet, but I'm trying to build this
Bill. Yeah.
this thing up to the point where like a couple albums from now, anyone that's like a fan of my music would be able to look back at these earlier albums and go, oh, it all makes sense. It all is part
Okay.
of this thing. So,
Well, I want
yeah.
to be part of your thing also myself. Uh, if you ever make it overseas, I'm gonna look for a club named Horizon. Just to see if you make you play that
I'm
for
sure
real.
there
There's
has to be
gotta
one
be one, right? It's gotta be
some like punk club or something.
right. It's gotta be one, maybe who knows, in Slovenia or
Yeah.
someplace. I don't know.
I wanted to pick a name that sounded like it would be a venue, but something that didn't exist. And when I
Yeah,
Googled it, I didn't see anything,
yeah,
any.
yeah, yeah. That's what I did. Yeah, no, that's funny. Well, I think your music, maybe it's in your plans or something that you would wish to do is like a soundtrack for a science fiction movie. Is that something that you really would enjoy doing?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about like I love soundtracks like to sci-fi
Mm,
movies, just why I love those movies. So I kind
mm,
of think about the songs as if like if there was like a Coco Columbia movie, what would the soundtrack be? And that's what my music is. And so I
mm,
have thought it would be cool eventually to, if I ever had the opportunity to write music for a film, I
right.
would love to because I try to kind of think of my music as like soundtrack music.
Yes, that's
I love the soundtrack vibe because it's like I like the kind of creating, not just having the music, but kind of creating like a atmosphere of you're
hmm
hearing different things, you're hearing street noise, you're hearing all these things, and then you can kind of imagine a world.
right. Well, I've been, keeping track of your posts on Instagram because that's what I usually use social media. And I don't use much. I should use more, but I'm too lazy. But I seen a couple posts that you mentioned that you went to see Rosalia. Is that right? In
Yeah,
LA?
I'm a
Not
huge
long
fan.
ago, a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I saw her in San Diego. I
Oh,
would have
San
seen her in
Diego.
LA, but the tickets sold
Okay.
out quickly. I went
Okay.
with my drummer, my one of my really good friends, who's also the drummer in my band, Greg. We both went to see her. We're both really big fans of hers, and I
Mm.
think I've been lucky in my life. I've seen a lot of amazing shows, but honestly, that's probably the best show I've ever
Yeah.
seen. I was crying the entire time. Both my drummer and I were just like our minds
Amazing, right?
were
And I
blown.
haven't seen her alive. I've been following her from the beginning because she was singing like popular traditional Spanish songs and flamenco songs. But I saw a couple of videos on YouTube, and it's amazing from those shows. So
It's
much preparation and so well made. Everything is perfect. I don't know.
Yeah, the way she because I mean I think a lot of people were who were really fans of the album Lux were sort of like, wow, how is she going to do this live? And
Right.
she just executed it perfectly. She had a small orchestra, nothing too complicated. I was wondering if she was going to have like a huge orchestra, but she had a small
Mm,
orchestra playing over her tracks, and then she had a lot of like costume changes and dancers and a whole
right.
theatrical element too, and it all just
Amazing. Yeah.
ties together super well. It's one of the most unique shows I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really cool.
Really cool. Yeah. Well, there are a lot of questions that I had, but I'm gonna leave them for next time if there is a next time. If
Yeah, they
I
did.
will there be a next time? Not from my part, maybe from yours. I don't know.
Oh, actually, one thing I might want to talk about really quick.
Yeah, you can talk about anything you like, Coco.
Just one thing. So I actually I could send it to you after this. I'm finishing the song that I made that is outside of the Coco world and inside of our world, and it's called Fuck Ice.
Ooh, okay. I don't know what you want to mess with our leader. I don't understand.
Oh, well, I mean,
Just kidding. You know, I'm very ironic.
you got you
I
scared
was
me
no, let
there.
me tell you, I was so angry. I was watching this game with Spain and Argentina, and I'm not gonna tell. But this guy was giving the trophy to the players, and I felt so angry. These freaking
Mhm.
liars, and I don't know. I don't want to talk. You're pushing me now. I just want to leave the room. I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
talk about the how everything is. I just let me tell you something. You can send it to me. Uh, I just feel so pessimistic sometimes. I feel like it not for in a very short time, maybe not too long, maybe in 5 or 6 years. I feel like a bunch of trillionaires. They're gonna own the whole world, the
Yeah.
whole earth.
And that's why I was that's why I was driven to write a song like this because I was so upset with what's been happening that I really felt like I needed to make something
Yeah.
and a piece of art. And I have always wanted to write a political song, but I never have been able to do it because I think it's really hard to
Yes.
write those songs. They can easily be preachy or corny or
Yeah.
just there's just a lot of you know what I mean? And so but I felt really strongly I wanted to talk about the situation with ICE and I wrote some
Mm.
lyrics and I was happy with them and I showed them to my drummer and I said, "Do you want to do a song where we record real drums?" And so the song is coming out in like a
I want to
week
hear it.
or two. And
I'll be
it's
glad to hear it.
punk slash hardcore slash breakbeat song, and I wanted to do that style because I think punk music
Of course.
does political songs
Perfect.
really well, along with like hip hop too. But I think punk is like a style I
Mm.
knew that I could pull off trying to do a song like that. So I'm really excited about that because I've never done something like that before. And I have like even though it's talking about the negative things, I also try to have a somewhat of a positive spin where it's like, we can these horrible things are happening, but we could like come together and kind of
Right.
like have a community and fight for our rights. So I
Of
just wanted
course.
to mention that because it's something I'm really proud of and I'm about to put it out. So uh
Well, I don't know if I mentioned in one of my interviews prior. Uh, I work like 20, 50, no, not even 20, like 10 minutes from one of those detention centers.
you worked at
I
one?
work like, not there, I work like 10 minutes from one of those
Oh,
centers. So I've been going there to those protests and bring them some food, some money,
that's
and
great.
ice, because ice, I'm talking about real ice for the drinking because it's been hot here lately, really hot. So I've been following all those families and all those people
Yeah.
that are outside because they got family members inside and they're really in bad shape. So we could talk about other stuff, but because
Yeah,
of you
yeah.
mentioned that,
I didn't mean to bring the conversation down,
yeah,
but
but I'm really, I know what's going on. So
hmm,
it's very depressing sometimes talking to those people
of
over there.
course, of course. Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, you send it to me. That would be great.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
You
It's
know,
about to come out, so
that would
I'll
be
send
great. That would be great. Anything that's related, I'll be listening to. Uh, I was gonna tell you, people that don't know Coco, please go to Bandcamp. I think it was a good place for looking her discography. Bandcamp.
it.
What else? One of those, I don't
I
know,
have everything.
music platforms. Do you have a website? I'm sorry, but I'm not sure if you have like a
I don't
website.
have an official website. I have a
Okay.
link tree.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, Linktree.
with
Okay.
all of my like I have a ton of stuff on my link tree, but yeah, I post my music on Bandcamp and SoundCloud, and then I also have it on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, everything. So,
Yeah,
but Bandcamp is like, if people want to support me and buy the music, they can go to Bandcamp.
of course. And I'm pretty sure if she'll sign some of those albums autographed. She's not giving away the guitar, so she's not
Yeah.
gonna. So don't ask for that.
I don't even know when I'll have another chance to. I would like to make physical copies of these newer records I have, but I've actually never printed
Yeah,
vinyl. I would love to at some point, but it's,
yeah, I understand. Well, I'm gonna keep following you, Coco. I came across your music by chance, like usually happens, and I didn't do much research, but the personality that she carries with her is very uh, attractive to me. I don't know how to say it because I guess maybe I have some of those things going on. I don't know, something. So for me, it's great to be talking to Coco today, especially on a happy day for me today. I'm happy, I'm happy because of the stupid game that nobody cares. It's like, it's not important. I understand. Soccer is not important. And I'm not a crazy fan that goes nuts, but it made me happy.
yeah,
So,
no.
you know what I'm saying?
With everything that's going on, I mean, you have to find
Right.
pockets of happiness.
Keeps me
So
busy. And I'm not the type that burns up cars or starts breaking glass. I'm just a real cool guy, small guy, not important, that loves music and talk to great people like her. So I gotta thank her for showing up today on a Sunday. It's Sunday. And uh, she's great. Please follow her. And if you agree with what she thinks and does and music and everything, good. If you're not, just don't even talk to me. Don't even watch this interview anymore. Don't even bother. You know? Just kidding. I don't know. I know. So Coco, I really appreciate it. I'll keep following you and send me that
I'll
single that
send
you
you.
have hidden in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah, there's gonna be a video and stuff coming out soon.
If you
So
ever come to New York, let me know. Because New Jersey is not that important. But if you come to New York,
yeah, I'm hoping I'll like play a show there eventually. So I'll like
I'll sit there. Let me know. I'll show up.
yeah, I will.
Not with
Thank you
this.
for having me. This
Nobody's
was
gonna notice me because I'm not gonna wear this for sure.
really
I'll be in the dark.
yeah. Right.
Thank you so much, Coco. You're one of my favorite interviews this year. Tell
Oh, really?
you.
That's
Yes,
sweet.
you are.
Thank
I don't
you.
know. You're a
I
great.
really, I really thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this. I think I just haven't done something like this for a while, and I like
Oh,
having inspiring conversations with people that are into music or also musicians. So yeah,
I'm not a musician, and so maybe
sure.
my next life I'll try to play the tambourine for you guys.
You could probably play the tambourine in this. I believe in you.
Oh boy. See you guys next week. I hope. Nothing better unless they take me somewhere. No, I don't think so. See you next week. Thank you, Coco.
Thank you.
Bad girl, good taste. All gas, no brakes. Red wine and cake. Throw shit, go away. These gays her face. Bless my mixtape.